everybody, and welcome to this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here, and joining us shortly will be Jared Keene, Andy Barron, and Steve Watson to talk some NFL, Bruins, and more. But first, on Thanksgiving, the Hopkinton Hillers took on the Ashland Clockers. Here's a look at what happened. Stadium for Hopkinton Hillers Thanksgiving football. It is the 98th Thanksgiving matchup between the Hopkinton Hillers and the Ashland Clockers. Tom Nappy alongside Wally Henneberry happened to be on the call. Wally, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody else.
Peraza in the backfield once again. Two receivers to either side. Takes the snap, back to pass. Looks upfield, throws upfield, it's caught at around the 32. That is hauled in by Paul Litcher. Paul Litcher to his left this time. Three receivers in tight to his right. Takes the snap, and he's going to hand it off, and look at this. That had me tricked for a little bit, but it's Seamus Murphy taking it to the house for the Hillers touchdown.
Yeah, wide receiver sweep coming around. Seamus Murphy, great play. Using the wide side of the field, which I think is always a smart thing. You have more room to maneuver.
Snap, kick, and it looks wide, no good. But the Hillers strike first. They lead it 6-0. It was a drive that ate up just short of 7 minutes. That is the end of the first quarter. After one quarter of play, it's Hopkinton 6, Ashland nothing.
Try to hide the ball.
2nd and 4 from the 26. Flexbone war package once again.
Same play.
And this time it's going to be Cam Antonick on the keeper, and he's able to fight his way all the way to the 15. That's a 10-yard pickup. Brunell's going to line it up under center. Back to pass. Looks to his left. Wide open receiver. It is caught. And that is a 9-yard touchdown connection with Kawan Amaral. Snap, kick. Wobbly one, but it gets through, and Ashland takes the 7-6 lead. Snap, kick, and it's going to be a wobbly one, and
he muffed it.
Fumbled at the 30, and the Hillers got it! It's covered up by Eric Tujin, the senior.
Yeah, there's a muff punt there. Hit him right, it went right through his hands, hit him in the knees, and popped out to the Hillers.
2nd and 18. Litcher going to line it up out of the gun. Peraza in the backfield, takes the snap, looks to his left, throws to his left, an absolute bullet to about the 36-yard line as it is corralled in by Paul Litcher. Probably something the Litchers practice at home, I think. And he's going to throw the screen to his right. Seamus Murphy taking it up the far side. And he gets close to the first down. Hillers saying they have it, and they very well may. We'll see where the refs mark it. The Hillers are certainly going to go for it here as they are in Ashland territory.
Just under 2 minutes to go in the half.
Litcher out of the gun, Peraza in the backfield, two receivers either side. Takes the snap, looks to up the middle, throws up the middle, and it's caught! Seamus Murphy! A 21-yard touchdown reception!
Yeah, right up the middle. Great play. Seamus Murphy lining up as a quarterback.
Here we go, Wildcat 2-point conversion attempt. Seamus Murphy going to take it to the far side, and he's brought down short. Donnell's going to line it up with an empty back set. Takes the snap, looks up the middle, going to air it out to the left, and it's caught!
For a touchdown.
Wow! A last-second touchdown. That was Jerry Judge.
Wow, that's a killer. That's a killer. What a great throw.
That's a 43-yard touchdown reception. The defense.
And the kick is good.
And they will get the extra point. So just like that, momentum has flipped back to Ashland as they now lead it 14-12, and that is the end of the first half. What a game we have here,
Wally.
Wally.
It's fantastic. Back and forth, like you said earlier, after the timeout to get one play, and they really turned it into a big one.
And they're going to put this one on the ground. It's going to be picked up at the 30-yard line. Here comes the return.
Here he goes.
It's going to be a
Here
big
he goes.
one.
Here he goes.
See you later. The
Here he
30, 20, 10 into the end zone. Eric Tujen.
That's it. That's how you get the momentum back, right there. That's a huge one.
Eric Tujen, a 70-yard kickoff return for the touchdown.
That's fantastic. Boy, we were worrying the whole half how the Hillers were going to come back out and get the momentum back, and boy, they did it in one play. Too, it's a big different story.
Fossbender's in the backfield. Litcher calls for motion. Trudy in motion from right to left. And he will take the snap, looks to the end zone, throws up the middle, it's caught, and the two-point conversion is good.
No, he waved it off.
Wow. It looked from here like he got in, but the official going to say that Petruni never crossed the goal line. And let's see if they continue this flexbone formation. It's worked well the last couple of drives for Ashland. That is Cam Antonik lined up as the quarterback once again. Run up the middle, did the ball come out?
Ball's loose.
It looks like the Hillers may have it, and they do. Oh wait, no ruling yet. All right, there we go. Hillers recover.
That's it.
Takes the snap, he hands it off. Fossbender barreling up the middle, and a nice run there to about the 15. I've liked what I've seen out of Fossbender.
So have I.
Litcher takes the snap. Play action. Throws to his right. Seamus Murphy reaches
Touchdown.
up, pulls it down. Touchdown, Hillers!
Great play by Seamus Murphy to get his feet down, or a foot down inbounds. That's a great play right there. He went up high for it and came down with 1 foot in. Just enough.
The snap, the kick,
No
and
good.
it is
That was good. My eyes were deceiving me that time.
And the Hillers lead it 25-14. To his right is the captain, Liam Fleming. 3 receivers to his right. Takes the snap, rolls to his right. Canty is going to...
Intercepted.
It's intercepted. And I believe that was Carlos Linton. That was Braden Hicks on the interception.
That's all because of Devin Canty.
That was a huge hit delivered by Canty. When else could smell Canty coming or sense it?
He was running for his life, and just as he let go of the ball, Devin Canty just landed on him. It took Dwinells a little bit of time to get up, and I noticed a little bit of nice sportsmanship by Devin Canty coming back to check on Dwinells, making sure he was all right while he was on the ground.
Litcher going to line it up out of the gun. Carrazza in the backfield. 3 receivers spread out to his right. Takes the snap, looks to his left, throws to the end zone, and was that intercepted?
Yeah.
It looks like it was. Ashland starting to move a little quickly offensively here, kind of like a hurry-up type of style.
Yeah, a little bit up-tempo here. First down here for Dwinells.
Up the middle he goes, brought down at around midfield. Plenty of yardage for the first down, about an 8-yard pickup, and that's likely going to be the last play of the third quarter.
That will be the last play of the third quarter.
Receiver spread out to his left, takes the snap, looking upfield, has time now under pressure.
Oh, fumble! The ball's out!
Loose ball, and it looks like the Hillers have it. And recovering the fumble, that is number 70, Evan Van Beek. Pushing over, takes the snap. Here goes Carrazza getting the call, finds some room, cutting to the near side. And he's going to keep straddling the sideline until he's finally pushed out of bounds close to the 10. Takes the snap, and it's Carrazza getting the call, cutting to the near side, to the end zone, and in! An 8-yard touchdown run for Joe Carrazza.
Yeah, we got really the difference today has been the turnovers, I think.
Now for the extra point, Avery Ravitch. Snap, kick, and it is good. And the Hillers lead it 32-14. Dwinells out of the gun, motion from right to left, and Dwinell's going to backpedal, looking upfield. That ball nearly deflected. Somehow gets it up the far side.
Intercepted.
It's intercepted. And on the pick, that is Andrew Budden. Dwinell's going to line it up out of the gun. Takes the snap out of the empty back center.
Batted down.
Pass batted. And was that intercepted?
Yes.
That was picked off. It is Brendan McGowan.
batted down by Justin Sokol and caught by Brendan McGowan. And we've got a flag on the play here. He's all right. And only less than a half a minute to go, and that'll do it.
There it is. They run out the clock, and Seamus Murphy makes his debut at quarterback, and the Hillers pick up the win, 32-14. Impressive stuff by the Hillers. And Wally, Ashland, after they scored 2 touchdowns in that second quarter, but the Hillers pitch a shutout in the second half.
That was it. Really, the tail of the game for me was the Hiller defense and the turnovers they caused. A lot of the points that we got was from turnovers, whether it was the 3 fumbles or the 2 interceptions, and that was all caused by the defense. And they really had Ashland working hard for their yards.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here, joined by Jared Keene, Andy Barron, Steve Watson. Guys, how are you?
Good, Tom. Good, Steve. Good, Jared. Hope you all had a nice Thanksgiving. Good to see you again.
Absolutely.
You guys.
Hope you all had a fantastic Thanksgiving, and it was filled with food and family and football. Some great football games took place on Thanksgiving, and finally we had some watchable games on Thanksgiving, so that was nice, and we'll certainly get to that in just a bit. And also our week 13 picks we'll have as well. Season's just flying by. But first, we got to give the Bruins some love. They have just been unbelievable. What is it now? A 12-game winning streak, or they won they're undefeated at home and are the first team to win 12 straight at home to open the season. Very impressive stuff. Steve, we'll start with you. Give us your Bruins thoughts.
They look soft from top to bottom. They just find ways to win. That's what good teams do. And yeah, there's really nothing to complain about. They're 18-3 as of right now. They've beaten a lot of good teams. They're 12 for 12 at home. They've been good on the road. I said, just love it. Absolutely love it. And the team is never out of a game. We all saw that on Friday against the Hurricanes. Down 2-0. Looks like it wasn't going to go their way. Bounce back. They win it in overtime. They've done that several times this year.
They certainly have. I just feel like the team is just on a mission this year. And
they absolutely are on a mission. You know, this group, some guys have been here for a long time, and they're trying to get to the promised land.
Absolutely. They just keep rolling along. Hopefully it'll continue on. I don't recall ever seeing a Bruins team this hot this early. Usually it's after Thanksgiving that they really pick up the pace, but this team came right out of the gun, just red hot. Andy, do you have any Bruins thoughts?
Have we ever seen a team in NHL history have a start like this? Because I certainly cannot remember. 12 in a row, it's historic what they're doing. Look, this team now has set the bar very, very high. There are no more excuses. You are either a 1 or a 2 seed, or you're in a Stanley Cup, or it's a failure. That's it. You can't fall apart now. You have built up such a big lead. Now I know New Jersey's close to them right now, but there's no excuse whatsoever that this team should not be any less than a 2 seed, and they should be in the Stanley Cup. I'm sorry. You have set the bar this high, and I will continue to say it. If they do not get to the Cup and maybe win it, it's a failure. I'm just telling it like it is. And we've seen it a lot from this team. We've seen this team do this where they get hot and then they just disappear. They don't have any more chances. This is it. This is their last chance to get a cup. And I know I've been saying that the last couple of years, but, was it really Bruce Cassidy? Was he really the problem with this team? Really ask, because I've been trying to ask myself that.
It makes you wonder.
It does.
I mean, they get rid of them, and they are pretty much on more fire than we've ever seen.
But Las Vegas is good. He has done a great job with the. Can you imagine if it does come down to us in Las Vegas? Oh my God, it's gonna be crazy.
Storylines galore. Still a ways to go. They're only about a quarter of the way through the year.
Right. But Steve, you agree with me. if this team's anything below than a 2 seed, it's a monumental disappointment.
There's no reason why this team can't be one of the top in the league. You look at the top three right now: Boston, Las Vegas, New Jersey, in no particular order, and all three of them looked really good. I don't think it's fluky.
No,
I know we're only quarter of the way, but there is that stat. I think 75% of teams that are in the playoff picture on Thanksgiving make the playoffs historically. That usually proves every year.
Yeah, and at this point, how could it be fluky? 21 games and 18.
Oh, you're 18-3. There's no flukes. They find ways to win. I do think their game will be a little more complete by the time we reach February, March, April. You don't have your absolute best early in the season. It's not your complete game, but in this league, you have to find ways to win when you only have your B game.
Jared, let's get to you. What are some of your thoughts about this Red Hot Bruins team?
I mean, Steve was spot on with pretty much all of his thoughts. I know he watches a lot of Bruins. I try to watch a lot of Bruins myself. This team is fun to watch. And as Steve said, this team is never out of a game. And they're doing it in different ways. They're getting the goaltending. They're getting defense. They're getting scoring from all four lines. Obviously, with the top two lines really, really stepping up and playing really well. But I think it really starts again with buying into Jim Montgomery's system and kind of what he wants to do. And this team is, again, just a really joy to watch. And Andy is right. I think anything but the top two seeds is probably considered a failure at this point. I mean, they're gonna lose some games. There's gonna be probably a couple of steps back, but we can't take away what they've already done and how they already look. This team is fun to watch. I love watching this team.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I've had more fun watching this Bruins team. They're just never out of a game. They could be down 2 goals. They could be down 3 goals. And I mean, how many comeback wins have they had this season? It's been unbelievable how they've just been able to come back from behind and win these games.
And not to mention Friday, you had a situation much like the Pittsburgh game earlier in the month where your goalie got hurt in the third period. The other goalie has to come in cold, play the rest of the game, try to set the opponent, and they win in overtime. That's what good teams do. It's just nothing phases them.
Yeah, and you have a good team when even your backup goalie could come in and finish it off for you.
Both goalies have been immense. Both goalies have been absolutely immense.
Great.
Yeah, they certainly have. I'd say everything's been immense. I mean, they got 85 goals for. That's averaging over 4.4 goals a game. That's tremendous. They are by far the hottest team in the game on all facets, and we'll certainly be following the Bruins as the season continues on, and hopefully they could keep up this production because they are number 1 in the East, and they are number 1. Actually, they got New Jersey on their tails. That's a team to watch as well. They're 18-4. But I think this Bruins team could certainly beat anybody, and I think they are for real this year. And if you think about it, this is the last year that they'll have a lot of these guys that were the core really together. They're going to, I think, lose a good chunk of that core perhaps after this season. So I think they really are on a mission for sure. All right. Any other Bruins thoughts before we move on?
I think I saw the other day that they were like plus 45 or something on the season goal differential. I think Toronto is behind us in the Atlantic.
Plus 38 is the goal differential.
Toronto is like plus 6. And like in second, that's ridiculous. That's insane. This team is ridiculous.
Yeah, Toronto's plus 10, Bruins plus 38. They are by far they have the biggest goal differential in the Atlantic. If you look over at the Metropolitan Conference, you got New Jersey plus 34. They're having a really good season too, and that could end up being your main competitor for the Eastern title heading into the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. It's Boston and New Jersey, and it's really everybody else right now. You have to look at the standings. They have just completely dominated the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
They certainly have, and hopefully they'll keep on dominating. And the Celtics, we're not going to talk too much about them today, but they have been playing some really good basketball as well. So it's been pretty fun lately down at the Garden. And hopefully it'll continue on. But we shall see, and we'll certainly have a lot more Bruins and Celtics discussion in the weeks to come for sure.
Just real quick, Christmas Day, Milwaukee, Boston, that's shaping up to be a monumental matchup. I mean,
electric, absolutely electric.
I think, again, kind of similar to the Bruins, it's really Boston and Milwaukee, and it's everybody else. They're head and shoulders above everybody else in the East. You know, a lot of people want to still say Miami, but they are not on Milwaukee and Boston's level. They're not.
Yeah,
the Celtics are.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's kind of like you got Bruins in Jersey in hockey. They're the top two, pretty far away from everyone else. And yeah, I agree that Celtics and Milwaukee and the Eastern Conference in the NBA is very much that same kind of scenario.
You just look at a 7-game series. I mean, I know Cleveland has played well, but when you get into a series, it's just different. You know, is there really any team when the Celtics are at full strength? Keep in mind, we don't have Robert Williams back. I mean, who can beat this team 4 times in the East? I still don't think Milwaukee can, only because I just don't think Giannis can do it by himself. He's the most dominating player in the NBA. I think we agree with that. But he single-handedly is not going to take down the Celtics.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I'd say looking at the two teams, Celtics have more of a team, I would say, than the Bucks.
Celtics have so much depth. Their depth is ridiculous.
Right.
Outrageous depth.
Oh boy, Darrell Mooney out for the season. That's a rough blow to the Bears. But speaking of football, let's get to our picks, shall we? Well, I'll let everyone in on a little secret. We're recording this on Monday, so we don't know the Monday Night Football final yet. But leading up to Monday Night Football, in first place, it is Jared at 110-67. He went 10-5 last week. I had the best record last week. I went 12-3. So yay, I finally won a week.
Nicely done. Very nicely
About
done.
time, Tom.
I know. It is about time. Seriously. Steve, you are in second place at 106-71. You went 10-5 last week. And then it is me and Andy tied up at 177. Andy, you went 10-5 last week, and Mike, he had a rough week. He went 9-6, and he has fallen to last place. He is 99-78. So I think we're gonna all be neck and neck all season. Jared's off in a world of his own, and I think it's really gonna be me, Mike, and Andy all like neck and neck for who finishes third, fourth, and fifth. But we are moving on to week 13, and boy, are there some crazy games in week 13. And the very first game we're going to start off with the Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots, Thursday Night Football. Before we get into the picks, reactions from that Patriots-Vikings game. Andy, we'll start off with you. What's your reaction to that Pats-Vikings game, and who are you picking this week?
They let it slip away. Just horrendous special teams. Just too many times where the drive just goes backwards. And I'm sorry, they got screwed on the Hunter Henry call. That was an awful call again. Just frustrating just watching them play. Now, the offense did play better. I don't think there's any question about it. But where was your defense? Didn't show up again. They got burned. It's the same problem they had last year. This was a game they had to get, and they should have won because, you know, they responded well, you know, in the first quarter and whatnot. But again, just you can't give up a punt return to a touchdown. You can't run into the kicker. It's just these are things that they just cannot continue to do, and that is the problem. So it's a disappointing loss, you know. But as far as this week goes, I hate to say it, I got to go with the Bills. I don't know how they're going to stop Josh Allen. He has torched this defense the last 2 times he's played against them. And I don't think the Bills are playing that well, but I just don't see it. This is a must win. They cannot lose this game. If they lose this game, this team is in big trouble. You have to win this game to have, I think, have any chance of getting into the postseason. It's do or die. Put up or shut up. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, if you lose this game, you pretty much have to almost win out to more than likely get in the postseason. And if you lose this game, your best shot is probably the 7th seed, which it's great if you get that and you get in, but you certainly would like to try to win the division. That winning this game will keep you right in the hunt for the division, and especially since you have another date with Miami coming up as well, and the Pats have a pretty tough schedule down the stretch. But my reaction to the game last Thursday, I got to give credit to the offense. It was the best performance of the season that I've seen from Mac Jones. He was finally competitive, finally put up some points, got some of these receivers going. The running game was great. The offense, they had an A+ kind of performance. Special teams, they were an absolute failure. They failed in every way, and I think ultimately might have cost them that game. And as far as the defense, I am not happy with the secondary, and I fear for them going forward because they have a lot of speedy receivers that they're going to have to cover. And I know Justin Jefferson is special, but you're going to have to be able to cover these guys. You're going to have some real problems going forward, I think. So I think the secondary, they might be starting to show their true colors. I'm hoping that's not the case. But up front, they're certainly much improved. They got a good pass rush, but I worry about that secondary. And now as far as the Hunter Henry call, I've heard reactions on both sides of the fence on this, and we'll get to one of those reactions in just a minute, and I think he knows who I'm talking about. But I think it was the NFL came out with a statement about that. And what was it, like the VP of officiating or something like that? In his statement, he was talking about surviving the ground. But then it's a little weird he's talking about that, considering they took that out of the rule book 2 years ago. So seeing that there's no more surviving the ground rule, which I think was good that they took that out of the rule book. I think it was a stupid rule in the first place. He clearly had his hands on the ball. And when the ball hit the ground, he had it in his possession. I think it was a catch. As far as this week, I really want to go with the Patriots, but I don't know if they could keep up with this Josh Allen offense. And I know Buffalo's been a little stale lately, but I think they're just going to have a very tall task keeping up with this offense. So I'm going to go with Buffalo in a very close game. Steve, what is your reaction to the game last Thursday night and the Hunter Henry situation, and what do you think about this week's game?
Special teams costing the game. You allowed a kick return touchdown, first time in 12 years, which is tremendous. You only got one of our players who actually touched the guy. You had that horrible penalty running into the kicker on 4th and 4. Minnesota got a touchdown from that. You had 2 20-yard punts that gave him good field position. So we can sit here and moan and groan about the defense all day, but you know what? If special teams is even decent in that game, the pass walk away with the win. So it's really hard for me to pin it on the defense. Special teams had their chance to win that game. They didn't do it. Abject failure.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Special teams.
Absolutely. One of the worst I've ever seen in
It was bad.
Belichick's tenure here. Special teams. Absolutely horrendous. No one should be proud on that unit.
No.
Horrible.
I agree. That was the main reason they lost the game. Definitely.
Yeah. That's really all there is to it. Defense, I'm not really too worried about it. Minnesota has a good offense. It is what it is. They did have a completion percentage of over 80, though. Only the second time ever under Bill Belichick. But
I would have to say, though, sorry to interrupt real quick, Jonathan Jones, he's really, really good. I mean, look, Justin Jefferson, this guy is going to get into an all-time elite level. But Jonathan Jones, he is legit. No doubt about it.
As for the Hunter Henry catch, no catch, I actually agree with the call being overturned. The Pats were the beneficiaries of this in Pittsburgh in 2017. Exact same situation with Jesse James. So I have no issue with the call being overturned.
But wasn't that the rule that they have since eliminated, the surviving the ground rule?
In my view, it's not a catch. He did not complete the process of being a catch. So I'm fine with the call being changed. I was not surprised at all. And it is what it is. Again, if our special teams was actually good in that game, none of that would have mattered anyway. So, if losing teams, blame it on officiating. That's not what we do around here.
Well, no, I'm not blaming that on officiating. I just thought he had his hands on the ball the whole time. That should have been
some of our fan base. You've met these kinds of people. They just will blame the officials. I'll say the officials why we lost. We got jobbed on all these calls. Please.
No, I don't. You can't let it come down to one play.
No, exactly. Sure. If you let it come down to that, then maybe you just didn't play good enough, and that's all there is to it. So, as for this week, weather's not going to be a factor. I think the Pats could slow down Josh Allen if weather was a factor, like last December out in Buffalo. But I think the Bills are just better right now. So I think the Bills will come into Foxborough and get a win Thursday night. I hope I'm wrong, though.
Absolutely. And I didn't expect you to pick the Bills, but touche for being neutral.
Just being honest, Tom.
That's right. Well, if there's one thing we know about you, Steve, you're an honest guy. All right, Jared, what are your thoughts to last week's game, and what are your feelings about this week's game?
I'll try to keep it at a minimum. I echo everything that's been said about special teams. Special teams was absolutely atrocious. Again, reason why we lost the game. Defense, again, Steve said it. Minnesota's a good offense. I love Justin Jefferson. He's one of my absolute favorite players in the league. This guy is just unreal. His route running, his hands, his ability to make a catch in traffic. This guy is just on another level. He's so fun to watch. The Henry catch, I do think it was a catch. But again, as you guys said, can't be the reason why we lost the game. This week, I really want to take the Patriots. I can't. Bills. So Bills all around. Josh Allen is too good. If we have any sort of success stopping Josh Allen, wow, that would be absolutely incredible. But yeah, I got to go with the Bills, and but Mac looked good. Mac looked really good, and Tom, it's refreshing to hear you actually say something good about the offense.
First time all year.
First time, legitimately all year.
Well, it's the first time they deserved it.
Hey, they look good, and
week 3?
I echo.
Yeah,
Jonathan Jones is really good, and also Ramondre Stevenson. This guy just runs hard, man. I love this guy. What a player! He's going to be a real talent for years to come.
No question.
That's all I got.
No
All
question.
right. I like it. So Buffalo all around. We all hope we are very wrong, and the Patriots make us look foolish. But they certainly have a tall task in front of them, and I think Buffalo knows how much this game means to them as well. So I think they're going to be going all out. All right, moving on to the Sunday 1:00 games. We got Pittsburgh at Atlanta. We're going to have that pick on that'll be available on the website. So we're not going to pick that tonight. Denver at Baltimore. This should be an interesting game. Not really. Denver is just probably the most boring football team I've ever seen offensively. Just terrible. Baltimore has been slacking a little bit. They blew that game to Jacksonville. I can't imagine them losing to Denver. I got to go Baltimore here. Jared, who do you got?
Baltimore. Denver stinks. There's my analysis for the night. There's my riveting analysis for the night. Denver is absolutely atrocious. It is horrendous trying to watch this football team play football. Come on, man, really? Nathaniel Hackett out of here. His whole staff out of here. Easily one of the biggest disappointments in the league. They had talent coming into the season. I know they've had some injuries, whatever, but this is just an atrocious, atrocious football team. Good Lord.
And I know you're working with minimal furniture over there because you're in the process of moving, but try not to shake your computer when you're talking.
Sorry, this team is just so bad.
He's so mad he can't control himself.
The Broncos have completely come unhinged. So there's no control. They have no control over this team whatsoever. Just a colossal failure. I mean,
Are we in Baltimore across the board?
yeah.
Yeah, Baltimore across the board. The Broncos are just a train wreck. Nathaniel Hackett's fighting canned. He's the third straight Broncos coach to start his Broncos career 3-8. So I think that tells you about their last 7 seasons. Just they have had train wrecks of head coaches. They've had train wrecks of quarterbacks. And if you don't have a good coach and a good quarterback, then guess what? Your odds of success are pretty much none. And that's
Who
what
wants
they've had.
that job? Does anybody want to coach that team? I don't think nobody wants that job. I mean,
No, and prime reason why you're going to see some firings there, this ownership group, Rob Walt and his group, they did not hire this head coach and GM. They're not their guys.
no.
So all the more reason for all of them to get fired on January 9th, which I'm pretty sure they will be.
Yeah.
The most telling stat, and Steve, you said it in the group chat, is that Carson Wentz has more touchdown passes than Russell Wilson this year.
And he hasn't even played since early October.
Exactly. That says it all.
But hey,
Absolutely
let's
says it all.
ride. Right, Russell? Let's ride.
Yeah.
That's all he says. Let's ride.
Even Mac Jones has more touchdown passes than Russell Wilson. All right.
Taylor Heineke, he's got more. I think he's got more touchdown passes than Russell Wilson. My God.
What happened to Russell Wilson? He's just broken.
Awful.
I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than Russell being broken. I think that whole team's broken, but it's like he just got worse, like really bad, and like since being traded there.
He's regressed, but it's also partly, I think, the system as well. I don't think it's all him.
Right.
Again, he's certainly regressed quite a bit, but I don't think you can put it all on him.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Green Bay at Chicago. The Packers, they're probably out of any playoff chance after that brutal loss to Philly, where both teams just really did not want to play off defense at all. 70 points between the two teams, 40-30. Philly beats Green Bay. I think this Packers team is just a mess, but they are taking on Chicago. The problem is Aaron Rodgers is going to be back. He got hurt against Philly. I don't know if he's going to be back, but Chicago, they are not in much of a better situation. They could be out without their starting quarterback as well. So without Fields. So this is kind of a tough game to pick, but I'm just going to go Packers because they always own Chicago no matter what. So give me the Packers on this one. Steve, what do you got?
I don't know with the Packers. It sounds like Justin Fields might not play again for Chicago. If he doesn't, they have no shot. I think if it's Jordan Love against Trevor Siemian, I think, right, is the Bears backup, I'll take the Packers all day.
Wow.
All right, Andy.
Yeah, I'm going with the Packers. Just don't. This is probably going to be a very unamusing game this week in Chicago.
All right, Jared.
Green Bay across the board. Jordan Love actually came in and looked good. I thought he made some really nice throws.
Yeah. I think, well, he's the next guy over there when Aaron Rodgers finally leaves. So he looked pretty good, I must say.
I love their running backs. And Christian Watson is ridiculous. That guy has insane speed, man. He is nuts.
Yes, he is. And he's going to be the main go-to guy, I think, for years to come over there.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of amusing games, Jacksonville at Detroit.
God, man, come on. These games stink.
I don't think there's any chance Jacksonville wins 2 in a row, so I'm going to go Detroit, and I got nothing else to add to that. Andy.
Oh, Jacksonville. I'm going to ride the Jacksonville wave. What a win for the Jaguars this week. I know I said it in the group text, but Marvin Jones is a very underrated receiver. That catch he made was awesome in the end zone. And Trevor Lawrence looked good. I mean, maybe they're finally building something down there. That's a big win for the Jaguars. I think the Lions had a real big loss last week. The Buffalo, I think their spirits have been crushed a little bit. And I think the Jags get it done this week. 2 in a row.
All right, you could very well be right. It's Jacksonville's so weird. Sometimes their offense really clicks and looks great, and then other games it just looks terrible. You never know what you're going to get out of that team. Steve, who do you got?
I don't know with the Lions. I think the Lions have just been a little more consistent than the Jags. Nice win for sure, but if the game was down in Jacksonville, I'll go Jags. But it's in Detroit, so Lions here.
All right, Jared.
I'm very tempted to pick a tie here. This is two sort of very even-ish teams.
Tie.
But it worked for me a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to the Lions. I think the Lions are built a little bit better right now. Jags also lost Travis Etienne yesterday. I think he might be back, but who knows what his snap count's going to be. Yeah, give me the Lions.
What's his face? The backup didn't look too bad.
JaMychal Hasty. Yeah, he did look pretty good, but Etienne is so good. Again, I think his loss would be really big, but we'll see.
Speaking of really big, how about those Cleveland Browns somehow beating the Bucks, who just looked terrible again? The Bucks were starting to get hot going into the bye week, and then they come out of it and they lose to the Browns. But those Cleveland Browns are taking on Houston. I'm going to go Cleveland. I think there's games that they look terrible, but I think they're a pretty good team. I think, some weeks they're a pretty good team, but I think Brissett is doing a nice job with that offense, and Houston will probably keep it close, but they just always find ways to lose. So give me Cleveland. Jared, who do you got?
Who do you got in the Jacksonville game? Who do you got in Jacksonville, Detroit?
Detroit.
Oh, I missed it then. My bad. I didn't hear you pick. I'm going with Cleveland. I think Deshaun Watson is back this week, if I'm not mistaken. But Houston is also just atrocious. Houston really stinks. Give me Cleveland.
All right, Steve.
Yeah, you got Deshaun Watson back. Cleveland has beaten some good teams this year. And
I forgot about that. That's right. He's coming back and playing his old team.
They're a mess. Not that that's surprising. Everyone thought they'd be a mess. They're the worst team in the league. I think Denver and the Rams are right down there with them, but they're the worst. So Cleveland.
I think Denver's the worst. Andy.
I agree with your earlier comment. I think Denver is probably the most boring, like unwatchable, like horrendous.
Yeah, they're on national TV every other week.
Yeah.
Andy, who do you got?
I'm going with Cleveland, but wouldn't it be something though if Deshaun Watson, if the Browns do lose this game? I mean, that would just be horrible. That would be horrible.
That'd be laughable.
That would be for the Texans. I mean,
Watson comes out, throws like 4 interceptions.
Well, he hasn't played in a long time. I mean, I still think they win, but maybe the Texans really get up for this game, and because that would not look good on the Browns. This is a must-win for the Browns. You cannot lose this game.
And all right, so Cleveland across the board. Our next game is the Jets at Minnesota. This might be the best game of the 1 p.m. time slot. I'm very torn on this. So let's start off with Mr. First Place, Jared.
Oh, God. I don't actually know. Come back to me on this one.
All right, we'll come back.
I'm a little torn myself.
Steve.
Although the Jets only have one road loss, and that was in Foxborough, got to go with the Vikings here. I think they're just a better team.
All right, Andy.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. I'm taking the Vikings. The Jets defense has been great, but the Vikings offense is just if they're clicking, I just don't know how the Jets are going to be able to stop them. And I still am very skeptical of their offense. The Vikings are very tough to beat at home, as we saw, and I think they're the better team.
All right,
yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, definitely Minnesota. I'm convinced. That's easy.
Steve and I convinced Jared to take Minnesota.
In the bag. Watch, now the Jets are going to win like 40-0.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going upset special. I'm going with the Jets.
All right.
I think Minnesota has a letdown this week, and the Jets get a big win. And it would be really bad for the Pats if they lose to Buffalo and the Jets win this game. So hopefully I'm wrong.
But
Tom, you've said a lot of good things about the Jets recently. I think you're actually maybe a closet Jets fan.
how dare
You've
you?
talked really highly of the Jets recently.
Where's your Jets jersey? Do you have your Jets jersey? I mean,
Well, Jared, I would like to thank you for your service to the show. It's the last time we'll be seeing him for the show. All right.
Come on, man.
So 3 for Minnesota. I'm going upset special.
Love it.
All right. And next game, this is a great one. Washington at the New York Giants. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I just love what Washington has been doing lately. I think their offense has played pretty well. I think their defense has taken a step up. And this is a crucial game for both of these teams. This could certainly have big implications on playoff seeding. I don't think any of them are going to be able to catch Philly for the division race, but I think both of these teams have a shot at the postseason, and both of these teams also have a shot at missing the postseason, especially Washington. But I'm going to go with the Commanders. Andy, who do you got?
Oh, Washington. I just like what they're doing. Taylor Heineke's good. The guy wins. They have good receivers. They good tight ends. Defense is playing well. I told you all this a couple of weeks ago that I think Washington is emerging. I think the Giants are starting to slide. You're starting to see it. I just like what Washington's with. They're a tough team. They're going to be a tough out if they get in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve, who do you got?
Good with Washington here. I think the Giants' magic is starting to run out. They had all those close wins, and now they've lost 2 straight to Detroit and Dallas. And Washington's been surging up really ever since Taylor Heineke took over the starting job from Carson Wentz.
That's a good way to put it too. I think their magic is running out. Jared, who do you got?
Washington across the board. The Giants, no. I'm out on the Giants.
All right. Washington across the board.
I picked against the Giants the last couple of weeks, and it's worked out really well. So I'm hoping that continues.
I never thought on this show that all of us would pick Washington to win.
First time for everything.
Hey, I picked them to beat Green Bay a few weeks ago, and they've been good ever since. That seems to be the game.
I never thought I'd pick the Jets to beat Minnesota.
Well, hey,
Tennessee at Philly. This is a tough one. Steve, you start.
You got to go with Philly. They have more firepower than the Titans do. If it wants to be a higher scoring game, Tennessee's not. They don't have an offense that can keep up. Brutal loss by them yesterday to Cincy, too. They should have had that game. It needs to be a tight game, probably one of the best games of the day, but got to go Eagles at home.
All right. Andy.
I agree with what Steve said. Philadelphia is just too good offensively. Tennessee doesn't have the offense. They just don't. Eagles win by a couple scores.
All right, Jared.
Agreed. Eagles are the best team in the league.
Yeah, I got to go Philly. Tennessee's offense just has not been playing well. They've just been struggling to get points. And Philly, they are arguably the most high-powered offense in the league right now. Them and maybe Kansas City, but Philly's definitely in the conversation. So
Philly's got like 4 legitimate running backs.
Huh?
Philly has like 4 legitimate running backs, and Miles Sanders, Gainwell, Boston Scott when he comes in, and even Jalen Hurts. Throw Jalen Hurts in that category. That guy can run, man.
They have all kinds of speed on that offense.
They really do. They're a good team. Very, very good team.
All right, moving to the 4:00 games. Seattle at the Rams. Is anyone going to take the Rams?
No.
Not a chance.
Not absolutely a chance.
What a disaster the Rams have.
All right.
Horrible.
Yes.
Games to chumps.
They look terrible.
They do.
That backup kind of gave Kansas City somewhat of a competitive game, though.
We got to make a T-shirt for that. Champs to chumps. That's what Steve came up with.
Right. I love it. All right. Seattle across the board. And okay, moving on. Miami at San Francisco. This is going to be a great game. Crucial game for both of these teams. Crucial game for the 49ers in their division race. Crucial game for Miami to hold on to the AFC East. I'm very torn on this one. Andy, let's start off with you.
I hate to say it, but I bought into the Dolphins. I just think, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, man, this is a legit wide receiver tandem. Tua's had a good season ever since the concussion. He's been good. The 49ers defense is good, though. This is going to be a really good game, but I am going with the Dolphins here. I think they're going to pull it out.
All right. Jared, who do you got?
I'm also going with the Dolphins. As good as San Fran's defense is, Miami has a lot of firepower on that offense, as Andy just alluded to. Again, if San Francisco can stop this offense, credit to them. But I'm going the Dolphins here.
All right, Steve.
I'll go with San Fran. I think I saw a stat yesterday that they have not allowed a second half point in 4 straight games.
Oof.
Wow.
And their defense is legit. Miami's very good. They're a very good team. The San Fran's defense, though, I think will get the better of the Dolphins' offense.
Steve, you have convinced me. I am going with the 49ers. Their defense has played extremely well, and their offense seems to be getting better on a weekly basis. I think it's going to be a very close game, probably a 3-point kind of game, probably maybe a last-minute field goal kind of game. But I'm going to go with Jimmy G and the 49ers at home. Kansas City at Cincy, another crucial game. Jared, who do you got?
Oh, God. Where is that? Is that in Cincy or in KC?
Cincy.
Oh, geez.
Come back to you.
No, give me Cincy in the upset here. I like it. Give me
Ooh.
Cincy in the upset.
All right. Andy.
Or I don't know how much of an upset it is, but yeah, give me Cincy here.
All righty. Cincy it is. Andy, who do you got?
Well, Cincinnati as well. I think they got the Chiefs number. I think the Chiefs have been a little shaky the last couple of weeks. They're winning, but I don't know. They seem that they've plateaued a little bit. The Bengals are playing a lot better. They're tough at home, and I think they know how to get to Patrick Mahomes. This is going to be a really tight game, but I like the Bengals.
All right, Steve.
I'll go with the Chiefs here. It's a revenge game for them. Cincy went into Arrowhead last year, beat them to end their season. Chiefs' red zone offense has been struggling. I think they definitely need to fix that, and I think they will against the Bengals.
All right. I am going to go with Cincinnati. I think Kansas City is overdue for a loss. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for that loss to happen. Being in Cincinnati, and this is the time of year where they got red hot last year, right around now. So perhaps it's going to be the same story with the Bengals again. And they're finally starting to get some guys back that have been hurt for quite a while. So
I think Jamar Chase is probably going to be back this week, which will be a big help.
Oh, yeah. That'll be a huge help.
T. Higgins has been really, really good as well.
T. Higgins has been awesome.
He's a really good player.
Yeah. So is Samaje Perine the last couple of weeks. Filling in for Mixon.
He's been tremendous. And Mixon might be back this week too, I think.
Yeah.
So, they got everybody back. This is going to be a shootout kind of game, I feel like. High-scoring game. All right, Chargers at the Raiders. I'm going Chargers. I don't think I'm going to pick the Raiders the rest of the season. I just can't trust them. They did pull off a win last week against Seattle, which was kind of a big win, but Chargers, they still have a pretty good shot to get in the postseason, so I think they're going to find a way to win this game. Jared, who are you going with?
Yeah, the Chargers. I can't imagine the Raiders winning 2 games in a row, as good as that Raiders win was. And what a game for Josh Jacobs, by the way, almost 300 yards of offense. Holy cow. That was nuts.
Yeah, Seattle's defense could not stop the run.
No.
All right.
But yeah,
Steve,
Chargers.
Chargers for Jared. Steve, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Oh
They've been playing a lot better lately. They've won 2 straight. Yeah, they're 4-7, but they're 4 plays away from being 8-3 and having the number 1 seed in the AFC. They're nowhere near as bad as people think they are. And now they're playing their best football right now.
He's back on the Raiders bandwagon. Andy, who are you going with?
I am also going to go with the Raiders because I don't trust the Chargers. I don't trust either one of these teams. These are just 2 teams where it's like, all right, what Raiders team shows up? What Chargers team shows up? But the Raiders have played well. 2 straight overtime wins. I got to give them credit. This is a massive game for both these teams. I mean, one more loss from the Raiders and their season's probably over.
Yep.
But I am going to go with the Raiders, but I think it's going to be a close game.
All right, so 2 for the Chargers, 2 for the Raiders. Sunday Night Football, Indy at Dallas. We're going to skip that. That'll be available on the website. Monday
Play
Night
Dallas
Football.
across the board.
Dallas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
Dallas.
sure it will be.
Dallas.
It's going to be Dallas across the board.
Dallas.
Yeah, you know what? I'll pick Dallas across the board. There you go. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, you just I don't know anymore. I'm starting to feel
I'll
like
start here. I'm going with Tampa Bay here.
yeah, I mean
New Orleans, New Orleans offense is atrocious right now. Absolutely absurdly bad.
yep.
I know this is like a weird game where Tampa like doesn't do well against New Orleans, but give me Tampa here for
All
sure.
right. I'm going Tampa as well. Can never doubt TB12. This will be a comeback kind of game after that weird loss last week. Steve, who you going with?
You got to go with Tampa. Like Jared said, the Saints offense is just absolutely atrocious. Shut up yesterday for the first time since 2001. It doesn't matter who they have a quarterback. No one can get the job done. It's just ugly. It's just really ugly to watch. And the Tampa's not impressive either, just to be clear on that one. I think it's just the lesser two evils. They get the win. And by the way, for those of you who don't want to watch that matchup, the Bruins host Vegas next Monday night. Bruce Cassidy's first game back in the Garden. So
Ooh, I'm gonna
that sounds like more fun than watching the Bucs.
Spicy, very spicy.
I'm gonna need multiple TVs. Andy, who you going with?
Tampa. New Orleans just looks bad. I mean, bad. I know Tampa doesn't look any better, and like still, all 4 of these teams still have a chance to win the NFC South. I mean, it's just.
All 4 of those teams are under 500, which is ridiculous considering all 4 teams in the NFC East are above 500. I mean, when was the last time this happened?
It's wild. What a weird season. Very weird season. One of the most competitive NFL seasons I think we've seen in quite a while, where you just have a large number of teams still very much in the mix. All right, we are definitely out of time. Final thoughts, winter sports starting in a couple of weeks. Be on the lookout for the HCAM broadcast schedule. Those are my final thoughts. Andy, anything real quick?
Big game coming up on Saturday between Holy Cross and UNH, University of New Hampshire. It's a second-round matchup at Fitton Field, a noon start. It's going to be a big-time matchup, and the winner of this game will get the winner of South Dakota State or Delaware. Holy Cross still undefeated right now. It's going to be a big game. Can they take the next step and get on to the next round where they could be playing the number 1 team in the country? But let's see what happens. But it should be a pretty good-sized crowd in Worcester on Saturday afternoon.
You're going to be there?
Excellent.
I will not be there. No, I will not be there this weekend. But some friends that are going, and they think it's going to be a very well-attended game. University of New Hampshire is not far from there.
Yep.
So I expect a pretty good crowd.
Absolutely. All right, Jared, any quick final thoughts? And I mean,
World Cup, big, huge match for the USA tomorrow against Iran. Must win.
You better win that one.
Huge, must win. Looked okay against England the other day. Was happy about that. And if you guys didn't see the goal that Richarlison scored for Brazil the other day against Serbia, one of the best goals I've ever seen in my life. And I've watched a lot of soccer. So, absolutely insane scissor kick goal. I'm sure it was probably all over Sports Center, everything, but what a goal.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I mean, huge match for the USA tomorrow.
Yeah, I love the World Cup. Kind of love having it in the mix here this winter. Steve, any final thoughts?
Yeah, it's a great time to be a sports fan. A lot going on, especially here in Boston. Great time to be a Boston sports fan. I know high school football is wrapping up at Gillette Friday and Saturday. A couple proposals on the table for new divisions and a new playoff format. I sincerely hope that both go through.